David Blaine is the definition of pushing your body to its limits. 7 days drowned alive, over 50 hours encased in an ice block, surviving 44 days without food or water, trapped in a box 30 feet in the air, 72 hours of being shocked with 1,000,000 volts of electricity. But one of the most insane things he's done is attempt the world record breath hold, live on TV, where anything could go wrong. Originally a magician, David Blaine began performing real feats that would test his will and the limits of the human body. His first ever endurance stunt attempt was burying himself alive for 7 days. Inspired by the challenge Harry Houdini never got to do, Blaine was trapped in a coffin 6 feet long, 3 feet wide, and 2 feet deep. He didn't bring any food into the coffin, surviving only on water that was given to him through a tube.
I always wanted to do like Houdini-like things. What if I did it and everybody could see that I was buried alive? So what if I was really just buried alive?
Throughout the stunt, visitors were able to see him through 3 tons of water he had poured on top of the coffin. Although some say this was to distract from him possibly faking the challenge and going into a hidden room to eat, this claim is obviously ridiculous and there's clearly no proof of it actually being true. But believe it or not, this would be the easiest challenge David Blaine would ever endure, because a year later he would encase himself in a block of ice for 63 hours. With obvious risk of frostbite, Blaine was forced to stand still in the 6-ton ice block. Throughout the stunt, Blaine recalls having hallucinations as his body began to shut down due to the cold.
So I'm looking around and I need the time, so I go like this. What time is it? And the guy goes,
4:02?
yeah, so
Okay.
he shows me 4:02. I wait. Things are moving, everything's weird, spiders are walking up, people are like sitting in the ice, and I wait for like a few hours before I ask anybody the time again. And I see somebody and I'm like, and the guy goes,
4:03. Oh no.
After 63 of the most torturous hours of David Blaine's life, he was rushed to the hospital. After the stunt, Blaine was unable to walk for weeks and reportedly suffered liver and kidney damage due to the extreme cold and immobility. Even after the hardest and most grueling stunt in David Blaine's life, 2 years later, Blaine took on vertigo. It was a stunt involving standing on a 100-foot high pillar for 35 hours with no harness or safety net. Even with rain and wind, Blaine was forced to remain still, where he could easily fall to his death.
He's tenacious, I'll give him that much, yo. He's got a lot of drive.
He's amazing. He's amazing. I love him.
And people are taking time out their busy schedules to look out. Look at these windows, yo. They're packed with people. How they gonna get him down if he gotta use that?
At the end of the stunt, David jumped down from the pillar, landing on a pile of cardboard boxes, suffering a concussion and foot injuries. The next stunt David would take on would be over a month of suffering, where David would be depleted physically, but go through a complete mental and spiritual change. Above the Blow was performed in London, where David was trapped in a 3-foot by 7-foot plexiglass box, suspended 30 feet over the River Thames.
around like day 39, I start to have really strange heart palpitations. And you start to feel like you're eating your body. That's where it starts to become, you start to become aware of that pain.
Wow.
But through that pain, you find this other thing that's like the most beautiful experience that I've ever felt.
During the entire 44 days he spent in the box, he lost 54 pounds, the effects of which he can still feel to this day. But in the box, David gained wisdom and experienced true magic.
This has been one of the most important experiences in my life. I've been born in that little box and I have years.
David Blaine was raised by his mother in Brooklyn, New York. When David was 4, he saw a magician performing on the subway, and this would spark his lifelong interest in magic.
I loved how cards felt, so they're almost for me meditative, like the way they feel in my hands. And then when I realized I could make my mother, I could change her day by doing a simple magic trick. It was kind of like the beginning of my love for performing.
But little did David know, the time with his mother would be cut short.
literally, like I felt like something broke in half. So that was a great, and I was so close to my mother. She was my best friend. But then what started to happen was I started to find there was like messages. When I was in the box in London, 44 days, day 40, I was having these terrible heart palpitations. But I thought I was going to die or something, right? And there was a bunch of people yelling, David, from the tower bridge. And I look over, and I'm not even kidding. Right when I said that, they open up this banner that they made, and it just said, God is love. And I was like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And that was our final words.
Yes.
After 3 years recovering from above the blow, David would be ready for his next stunt, drowned alive. For this stunt, he would spend 7 days and 7 nights in a spherical tank filled with salt water, breathing through an air tube. But that wasn't the only challenge he would have to overcome. At the end of the week, he planned to attempt the world record for the longest breath hold. This would end up not going as planned. The production for his TV special decided that David's breath hold would not be interesting enough alone, so they added 4 handcuffs he would have to break out of. This would end up costing him the record and almost his life. For minutes, David remained still, almost in a meditative state, trying to preserve his energy, until he was once again aware of his surroundings. At minute 6, David noticeably struggles for air as he unlocks the first handcuff. As David works on the second handcuff, this only increases. Shortly after this, David's body is at the point where it physically can't take the lack of oxygen anymore. It isn't a matter of will anymore keeping David alive, he needs to be rescued.
The divers are in.
Just relax. We got you, David. You're all right. You're all right. Okay. You're okay.
They brought him out.
While David failed, he's brought to the surface, alive and unharmed. It would be 2012 until David would attempt his next endurance feat, standing on a 22-foot high pillar, surrounded by Tesla coils emitting 1 million volts of electricity. To protect himself, David wore a 20-pound suit that prevented him from getting electrocuted. In total, he planned to spend 72 hours starved, cold, and sleep deprived, all while musicians would perform using the electricity.
Right now it's 7:20.
Have I been here the whole time?
Yes.
So did I do what I was supposed to?
Yes, you did, and you're almost done.
Do you remember the first night? You remember going up there initially?
Clearly in a compromised mental state, David smiled as the 73 hours came to a close. And while this was a major triumph for David, arguably his most impressive stunt happened just 4 years earlier. In 2008, David Blaine would attempt his world record breath hold again, trying to break the time of 16 minutes and 32 seconds.
Now, if David surpasses it, he will make history here today, and we're going to see every nail-biting second as it happens live here in Chicago.
Before attempting the breath hold, David would have to inhale pure oxygen for a total of 23 minutes.
Right now I'm just trying to focus on getting my heart rate down. It's a little bit up, but I think after the breathe up it should start to slowly drop.
Except even at minute 11 of the breath hold, David's heart rate was still too high, and even he thought he would fail.
Faster heart rate, more oxygen used up, and David has a problem because he's got no extra oxygen in his body.
Good God.
But despite this, David's mind remained strong as he approached minute 16.
He's even having some extra heartbeats now. His heart rhythm is irregular.
Yeah.
You see how regular it was before, and now they're in little groups?
30 seconds away from the record, David floats to the surface of the water.
Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
Come on, David.
You can do it.
You made it. You made it. You made it.
But even after breaking the record, David pushes past 17 minutes, with a final time of 17 minutes and 4 seconds.
David Blaine is now the new Guinness World Record holder. Congratulations.
Thanks so much for watching to the end of the video. It took me a lot of hard work, so it would mean a lot to me if you would subscribe.